Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Breakfast Buddies.
Good morning.
Morning. How are you guys this morning?
I'm doing well, thank you, Rachel. How are you?
I'm doing good, thank you. What about you,
Good.
Lindsay?
Not too bad, thanks, Rach.
Fantastic. And I hope you guys watching at home are doing good as well. And how was your weekend? Did you get up to anything interesting?
What did I do this weekend? It feels like a long time ago, and that's really bad because it's only Tuesday.
Yeah.
I've had a long week and I'm not even halfway through yet. That says a lot, doesn't it? What did I do?
What about yours, Lindsay?
I don't think I did a lot. What did I do? I don't know. It's just like, I go through one day and then it's like the next day I'm like, what did I do yesterday? No, I took the kids swimming. I remember doing that.
Oh, nice.
And what else did I do? I don't know. I'll be honest.
I love swimming.
Yeah, we've got like a gym membership where we live, so you know, swimming pool, sauna, jacuzzi, steam room. So I take the kids down there, wears them out before they go to bed.
And then you were like, come on, it's nearly Monday, back to school.
Yeah, especially with the holidays. Wow. Yeah.
Get your school uniforms out.
She's my one little one. She's been something else. Best place for her.
How was your weekend, Rachel?
My weekend's been quite quiet, really. I've been at home in bed with I'm now tackling a cold, so not being
getting all the ailments, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm getting it all thrown at me this weekend, and I'm still recovering a little bit. And but yeah, I've just been chilling and relaxing at home.
Sometimes that's the nicest thing, though, isn't it? Like weekends where you don't do anything, where you've got nothing planned, where you can just go, actually, I'm not going to do anything today. I'm just going to sit here.
Well, I watched the boxing. Did anybody watch the boxing?
No, I didn't.
No.
Yeah, Tyson Fury was fighting.
Did he win?
Oh,
yeah.
Because isn't he all about retiring?
Yeah, he's not. He is retired now, but he'll come back to do the undisputed heavyweight champion in the world, I think.
Oh, okay.
Be out of Anthony Joshua and I can't say the other man's name. That's all he's got left to fight. But my kids, obviously, he's relation to my kids, so they were like, "We want to watch, we want to watch, we want to watch." Oh, great! So yeah, we watched the boxing.
Did you watch it at home, or did you go out to watch it?
Down my mother-in-law's, we went to watch it.
Nice.
Yeah, I took my boys. My daughter was out with my dad, so we went down there and watched it.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
This is my children's cousin, so they live supporting him.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
famous family. I don't have any famous relations.
Yeah, my children are Furies, but they obviously. I think it must run in the family, the talent, because my son is really, really talented at boxing as well. So, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's fighting next week, my boy.
Oh, damn.
I can't wait.
I think I know I have a relative, but I haven't looked into it yet, who's actually stars in Hollyoaks.
Oh, okay.
And when he died, he was looks like this geeky boy with the big glasses, and I need to look into it a little bit more. But one of my brothers said, "Oh, did you know that we have a relation to him?" And I went, "What?" Since then, because I just know my little family, and that's it, really. But it must be so cool to know celebrities in the family, with having a boxer. Well.
Yeah, they got a massive family. Obviously, being Irish traveller, my family is only small, really. Like I'm Greek, but we got a big family, but not here. They my family are in Greece and Malta, but here my children's family are massive.
Yeah,
they are absolutely massive. They're all over the UK.
Oh, we have a special guest.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's cool.
But Beth,
that's like their famous thing as soon as somebody says to him, "Oh, you're a Fury." Yeah, my cousin's Tyson Fury. That's their
They're loving it.
Yeah.
And Beth, did you say you didn't have any?
No, not that I know of. I mean,
No.
I don't know, looking back in history, where I could be related to Henry VIII. I don't know. Probably not, but
I know we've got like a couple of like famous people around from Northampton. Like
Matt Smith
Helen Carr was one of them.
Yeah.
And then we have Matt Smith, the Doctor Who.
Yeah.
One season as well.
Yeah. I wonder if anyone watching is related to anyone famous. I'd love to know. If you've got any famous relatives.
Oh yeah, we'd love to know, because it'll be nice to see like in Northampton if we've got some like interesting to someone quite famous. That would be really cool. So what we do every morning, we like to talk about our internal weather. So if you don't know, it's basically how you feel based on the weather we have. So Lindsay, how are you feeling today with your internal weather?
Very sunny today.
Oh, good.
Very happy. The sun's shining outside. It's lovely and warm. It's nice and peaceful in my house. But yeah, I'm feeling good today.
Oh, that's fantastic to hear. I've been trying to think creatively.
You're trying to match my internal weather.
I don't know if it will make any sense. I feel like a chilly winter's night.
Oh.
So I feel quite like nippy, and I just want to bundle up in warm and have a hot drink and just want to cozy up and read a book and relax, and hopefully after the morning comes I'll be okay and it'll be better. But it's that feeling when you just want to bundle up and you're like type feeling. What about you, Beth? What's your internal weather?
I'm feeling like a bit of a windy morning this morning.
Okay.
I've kind of been blown about, but I'm feeling good and ready to go for the day.
So it's like with windy, was it like pushing against you at the beginning, and that's gonna be like, okay, off you go. You can do it. And you guys at home, please let us know about your internal weather and how you're feeling, and see if you can get creative with it too, because I'd love some ideas.
Yeah, any like northern lights out there, any thunderstorms, a bit of lightning like I was the other day.
Yeah, or like rainbows coming through at the cloud party. So today, well, not in the UK. So today, for National Holiday, I found out that it is World Book Day, and in bracket, in the world. And
so when I saw this, I was really confused, because I thought World Book Day was is it March?
Yeah, the 3rd of March. We celebrate it.
When I saw it, I was like, what?
Yeah, I was really confused as well, because we had like all the World Book Day out, like toys and everything out like beginning of March. And then seeing it here in April, I was like, wait, I'm so confused. But as you all know, we do story time at the yard, and I thought it was quite an interesting thing that we could link to what we do, and we have a volunteering opportunity as well to do some story time, which is great. And what story time is a great way to just sit down, relax, and just get lost in a story and just forget about work for about 45 minutes. It's really good, like as a listener and as a reader as well.
Yeah.
Do you think that way when you do storytelling, Beth?
I mean, To begin with, it was really difficult. Like reading a book, talking to yourself reading the book is so hard, especially because I'm reading Last Wish, and some of the words in it, I cannot pronounce them. I'm making it up as I go along for half of them. I'm just like, I'll say that and then hope that no one else is reading the book as well and will know what that is. Like some of the monsters that are called the most bizarre things, I'm like, I don't know how to pronounce that word. But I do find it quite therapeutic because I'm so busy. I struggle to find time to read for myself.
Yeah.
So recording the story time is quite good because it gives me that time to read and to be able to, I think it's good as well because it improves your language, even from like being a child and reading. It's kind of improving your vocabulary, isn't it? Like there's words in there that I've thought, I'm not quite sure what that means. And then I'll have to Google what the word means and I've learned a new word for the day. So I like that aspect of it.
Do you find it helps you build confidence as well, like doing it over time?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think so. Previously, I've done it actually over like Zoom, like how we are now, and I've actually read a book to a group of women who suffer with breast cancer during lockdown, because obviously we couldn't meet in person. I would read them a book over Zoom. So I think even doing that to now recording has like made it a lot easier for me to be able to do that.
Yeah, definitely. That is something I've noticed, that over time when you do read out loud or like speak online and stuff, you do get that confidence being in front of a camera and realizing like it's okay. It's just like meeting in person. It's not scary as it is online.
Yeah,
it's strange. I find it strange. Like,
yeah,
it's not just say you were in like a youth club, you've got like the people who's in front of you, and that's it. Whereas when you're on here, like it could be 20,000 people watching you to the 10 people. Do you see what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's quite daunting. I find it.
Yeah.
And you've got a very different book to me, haven't you? What book are you reading, Lindsay?
Gangster Granny.
Yeah, you've chosen. Why did you choose that book?
I don't know. For like when I was speaking to Rachel about it, like obviously because it's around youth, like the young people, I just went for something that was like obviously living in a house with an 11-year-old and a 13-year-old is something that they would sit and listen to that sort of age, if that makes sense. Like if I started reading Harry Potter, they'd be like, what is that? Like they wouldn't have no interest. But because this is mischievous, this book, my children have got an interest to that because they're all full of mischief. So they like the fact of, that she's a robber and the kid is intrigued and he's sneaking out of his house when his mum and dad's upstairs and they don't even know he's gone, and like they think that's fantastic.
Yeah, it's easy. It's easy listening, isn't it? It's something you can just sit back and.
And we're obviously like having 4 children. I don't really get 5 minutes to sit and read, and obviously my English is not the best. There's with reading big words and things, and I thought I'm not starting off with a book that I haven't got a clue what any of it means, or I can't even read the words, and I'm just making up in my own language as I go along. So I thought if I stick with a kid's book, it make it a bit more simple for myself and obviously for people listening, because if it's something where they can't even understand it themselves, they'll be thinking, what is this girl on about?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I sort of went for that. Simplicity.
Yeah.
Do you guys have your first story that you've ever read as a child?
Mine was Alma, the multicolored.
Oh,
that was my favorite book as a kid. I used to love that.
I think mine was Hungry Caterpillar, to be honest.
What's that?
And Funny Bones.
Funny Bones, yes. That was really good.
Yeah.
Oh, mine was Spot the Dog.
Spot the Dog.
I remember Spot the Dog.
I used to love Spot the Dog, that I just wanted everything animal related, and I ended up getting into the tiny children's book where it got different animals in the front.
Yeah.
That was fun. Aria, pick a play. And
it's like, no, Mum, I want to be here.
Yeah, I want to be in the middle of the camera. So I thought of when with the World Book Days. I don't know if it's something it's done in everywhere as well as Wales. Do children get dressed in their favourite fictional characters and go to school?
Yeah, they do it here. The only thing is my children's school is Catholic, so they don't do World Book Day. I don't know why. They never have, but all my friends, their children, like World Book Day, they'll go to school as like crazy characters.
Yeah.
Literally, my one friend's boy wanted to be the Willy Wonka man with the big hat, and do you know when they pick like a character and you can't find the costume? I don't know how many.
How am I going to get?
Yeah, how many times me and my friends have been driving around Cardiff trying to find these stupid costumes that they want.
Do you feel like it's a way for a parent to compete with each other without realizing as well?
Yeah, a lot of it because they want the best. The kid, they want their kid to look the best, and I'm glad, to be honest. I haven't got the hassle of doing it. My kids just do like odd sock day and non-school uniform, or they'll have like a theme for their topic that they're doing in school, and they'll have to dress up like prehistoric or princesses and princes. Yeah, so it's not too bad because they're all dressing the same. They give you a topic, and they've all got to dress in that theme. Whereas when you've got sort of World Book Day, the world is your oyster. You could dress your kid as anything, literally. Yeah. And obviously people do go above and beyond, some of them. And they want to put them all over Facebook.
Yes. I do like the idea of it though, like for older children, for them to actually recognise that I actually really enjoyed reading this book, so much so that I want to be that character for the day.
I don't think that's the case though with like a lot of it. I think with the young ones, I think it's just they like obviously with books they're on telly now, so it's like kids will pick their favourite character from that TV thing that they watch. Do you see so it's not about the reading, and a lot of it like probably the parents pick their costumes anyway. You're gonna be this.
I do feel like if I see this costume, I can imagine this adorable little boy wanted to dress as the grandpa in Grandpa's Great Escape with the aeroplane, and the parents are like, "Oh my god,
how am I supposed to do this?" You have to build him a plane for school
with the plane.
I can't. My kid just cause chaos if I sent her to school dressed like that. She thinks she could fly.
We got this one as well, like Mary Poppins is so sweet, about to take off with a little umbrella. I remember like things like Horrid Henry. I never really got into it, but I remember these stories, like being around the library or my brothers having them. I thought this was really sweet with this little Horrid Henry t-shirt. And then this was another one. When I saw this, I thought the parents must have struggled so much with it.
But then I feel like some parents would be really up for it. Like, yes, let's do this. Let's
to make their child win, like to look the best.
I like these ones, like Cindy Lou.
Yeah.
It always amazes me, and I think to myself, how do they do that? How do they do that with the hair? That's incredible. And then what else is there? I just love they drew like a little moustache on him as well. Amazing. This one's my favourite. Little Harry Potter. And Where's Wally? It's a classic.
Oh, that's been out since I was a kid.
Do you remember ever owning a Where's Wally?
Yeah, I did.
I don't know, like with me, I don't think I've ever owned them. I've just seen them in doctor's surgeries. And that's like my great thing.
That's your memory of Where's Wally going to the doctors. Nice.
Mr. Bean, that's amazing. And he did the little mole too. Well, Mr. Bean's a book series, or am I being...
I'm not sure, you know. I really don't know. I was just thinking the exact same thing.
I can record it being a book.
Yeah,
He used to be on telly, he used to be mute. He didn't used to speak to see. He just used to be like him going around and he just makes stupid noises. He didn't used to speak.
Yeah.
So I don't know how he wrote a book. Because it'd just be like a load of mumble jumble with, I suppose, with pictures.
It looks like there are a couple of books.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Bean, The Palace of Bean. Mr. Bean, Royal Bean.
Oh, that's fantastic. The Cat in the Hat.
Oh,
wow.
It's amazing. And then Mr. Men, that's great. Brilliant. Mr. Grumpy.
Mr. Men are great books.
Oh, thanks to Granny. That's amazing. And then Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Oh, that's so sweet. But if you
the costumes, you can do complex because, like, if you look at them, and it's like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, those type of things. Like, it's just like a normal person, like a normal boy. So it's just adapting like things that you got in the house. Like obviously, like these type of things, the Cat in the Hat and Peter Pan. You can't just go and create that from the kids' cupboard. You'd have to literally craft it. You know, if you couldn't buy it, you'd have to craft it.
He looks so proud as well.
So I think this
needs a big nose. Big stuck on nose.
And Matt won that for that. But yeah, I thought that was really sweet. But I was thinking, if you were to dress up like your favourite book character or fictional character, what would it be? And the guys watching at home, we'd love to know as well.
I don't know.
I don't know either. Do you have a favourite book? Do you think you have?
I
haven't got a favourite book.
The only book I finished and completed was actually The Wizard of Oz. And so I'd probably dress up as the Scarecrow or Dorothy.
So my favourite author is Deborah Rodriguez. I don't know if either of you have heard of her.
No. What would be
So she's got the two of my favourite books are The Little Coffee Shop of Kabul and The Return to the Little Coffee Shop of Kabul. So the Little Coffee Shop of Kabul focuses on like a couple of different stories like at the same time. So it focuses on a couple of different women. So there's an American lady, and then there's a couple of ladies from Kabul, and it kind of talks about how their stories entwine and how obviously during the time it was written it's a war zone, and she owns a little coffee shop and these women meet in the coffee shop, and it's just such a lovely book. And yeah, I do like that kind of thing.
That sounds really interesting. What time was it set in?
It's all it's fiction, isn't it? That means it's not real. So it's a fictional book, but I just like the way that it's got more than one story going on at the same time. I like that.
Like towards the end, does it like collide of like them meeting and then it continues?
Yeah, like one of the women ends up having a child.
Yeah.
It's kind of, I just love it. So this is what the cover looks like.
Ooh.
And then that's a bit about her.
Yeah. Hairdresser, motivational speaker, and also the best-selling Kabul Beauty School. Ooh.
Yeah.
She spent 5 years teaching and later directing the Kabul Beauty School, the first modern beauty academy and training salon in Afghanistan. Oh, wow.
Yeah. So she's got a really in-depth knowledge of what it's like there. So I really enjoy it. It's definitely worth a read if you ever feel like. But my problem is I tend to read when I'm on holiday. I don't often read when I'm at home.
Yeah.
If you're laying by the pool.
Yeah. I wish I have time to read, but I just don't do it. And I think, I don't know about if anyone watching has the same thing, but it's just like, oh, I watch TV instead.
Yeah.
Like at night time, I could read a book, but.
Or phones. People
Yeah.
are too wrapped up in phones now. I just physically don't get time to sit and read to 4 kids. It's by the time I finish doing everything for them, I'm like that.
Do you like reading to your kids, or would they not sit and listen?
My daughter doesn't like you to read to her anymore because she's, for the 7-year-old, she's very intelligent. So she likes to read to you.
Yeah.
She doesn't like you to read the story because, like, if I read it, I'm reading it wrong. I'm not saying this right, and you have to say it like this because the man is really scared, so you have to be scared. And like, she wants to get involved she wants to be inside the book.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, if I read it, you're doing it wrong. I don't want to listen to you. And she'll take the book and she'll read it, and it's like it's all different people coming out of it. It's crazy to watch her, I'll be honest.
That's really great though, that she gets so into her storytelling.
Yeah, she gets really into it. And like if they're scared, she'll act scared and be speaking like she's scared, and then it's like if she knows the character's old, she'll speak in like a squeaky voice, and she is nuts.
Oh, that's amazing! With like,
she'll sit and listen.
Imagination.
Yeah, she has got a really, really wild imagination. She'll sit and listen to me reading, but she said, like, you don't read properly. I should read your story for you. That's like, you can't, like, you can't go online and read my story for me. Like, she can read the book. I'll be honest, I was quite shocked because she started reading it the other day, and I thought she wouldn't be able to read it because she's only in year 3 of school.
Yeah.
And obviously that's like a chapter book. She's like used to big pages, loads of pictures and that type of book. But she started reading that, and I was shocked, I'll be honest. She got another book, Thing. Is it called Thing?
Okay. Yeah, I have heard of that.
It's David Walliams. Yeah, like she's got that, and she loves this book with the Thing. But I don't know. She's like a little Matilda. That's what we call her. She loves books.
Aww.
But only if you take her iPad. If you give her an iPad, she'll sit and watch the most junk I've ever seen in my life. Kids playing with toys, kids reading stories. I said, why would you want to watch other kids
when you could do it yourself?
Playing? Or why would you want to watch other kids reading or doing these things when you can go and do it yourself? We've got all the stuff in your bedroom. No, but that's boring. You should just sit there. Yeah, if you take the iPad, the first thing she'll do is get a book. If she's not reading, she's drawing.
Yeah.
She has got a really good imagination, but I don't think kids are given that opportunity anymore to have the imagination. Really, the only time they get it is school, because obviously school, they haven't got iPads, laptops, PCs, PlayStations, Xbox, all those things at hand to them, whereas as soon as they get home, guaranteed 99% of the children in the school are handed their controller, their iPads, their phone, whatever, just to give their mum a break to, go away with your things now, leave me, I got things to do, I got your tea to cook, I got, because obviously it's hard when you've got children, but I don't think people make as much time to involve their children in reading as like I used to have when I was a kid.
Do you feel like the older you get, the less imaginative you become?
Yeah, I don't feel like I got like an imagination like her. No, she's if she wrote a book now, she'd probably be a multi-million-pound seller. The way her imagination is, I'll be honest. She's got, wow, it's crazy the things she comes out with.
Yeah.
She's mad. And she'll be in a room and she'll be talking to herself. And I say, what are you doing? I'm making a story. And then she'll start singing. And then she's dancing. And I'm like, well, this is in your story? Yeah, this is in my story. It's called a musical story. You just do your thing.
Oh, that's brilliant.
She'll come in singing songs then to me and her stepdad, like, do you like my song? And she, like, you don't have a clue what this song is, and she'll just start going. She's dancing.
I can imagine she would look like puppet shows, wouldn't she?
She has got puppets, but the puppet is not appropriate. The puppet she got is it's called Jeffy.
Oh god.
Yeah. My dad decided to buy it for her, so we have Jeffy in the house. Jeffy comes everywhere. Jeffy said lots of things and lots of rude things as well.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I think puppets are great though. Like for a storytelling point of view, I think that it's so memorable, isn't it? Because like the first thing you think of is Punch and Judy.
Yeah.
Like that's
this is
really
a weird looking thing though.
Do you
looks
think?
like Muppets, but I don't know. It's strange. She loves him. She got clothes and she got all the babies all clothes that don't fit him. She dresses him up and
I know, like, my first memory of a TV show that I was obsessed with was Barney the Dinosaur and Sooty. Like, absolutely love Sooty with the hand puppets and the bear going to the ear. Like, oh, what'd you say? And like that whole interaction made my whole world, where I see comedy. If I see anything, like, there's a musical called Avenue Q, which is basically puppetry as well as singing, like normal actors. And it's one of my favorite musicals because I love how they bring them to life, and you can see that they got their own personality and everything. And I absolutely adored Sooty when it comes to puppets, definitely.
Yeah. Puppets good. I think going back to what you were saying about imagination, I think that's one of the reasons why stories and storytelling is so important, isn't it? Because for me, I think I've got quite a decent imagination. Like when last Halloween we were playing that story game where you say like a couple of words or a word.
Oh yeah.
In a circle, and I can't remember what it's just called. It's just the story game, isn't it? Like
where
you go around and you make a big story. So like if I said one day and then the next person would carry on the story. I think that was really good, really good. We got some quite interesting stuff coming out, didn't we?
Oh yeah, we had a few questionable things come out, but it made everyone laugh. It made everyone get involved, and even though they weren't sure what to say, we were helping them as well, so they didn't feel like the odd one out, like, oh, because it is difficult on the spot. But once you see like the spirit of it all and like how much fun we were all having, it was definitely a good thing that it was really fun.
Yeah. I think reading and books in general are just so important, aren't they? Like, I think it's something that I don't know, like it's just so important. And I think for people with children, it's so important to get them reading and to support them reading so that they don't miss out on that opportunity.
Yeah. I mean, I read to my friend's baby, and it is quite interesting. You know, when Lindsay, you're explaining, like, no, you're doing it wrong. So she'll take it off me and go, blah, 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 blah. And then instead of me reading, I'll be like, look, 3 chickens, and like explain to her, these are what these are. And then she'll start copying that. But just having that one-to-one time bonding is so important, to just have that connection where you just go to bed, you wind down, you enjoy a story together, and it helps encourage dreaming, I think, wouldn't it?
Yeah. It's meant to help you sleep, isn't it? Definitely. I think reading a book before you go to bed is meant to be one of the best things that you can do.
That's right. Well, yeah, when I take the iPads off my daughter, because she'll kick off then when I take it off her, and the first thing I'll say to her, light off now, but I'm reading myself a story. And I say, well, one story and then light off. Because if I'd have to with the iPads to watch a story, which obviously they can, she'd be there all night because she's engrossed in the thing. Whereas when the story's finished, it's like, oh, and then she'll lay down and she will eventually go to sleep. But if you left her with the iPad, you've got no chance. But like her to my boys are too they're too involved with technology. They don't want to read books. Like my eldest boy, can barely read. I'll be honest. He's 13 and he can barely read. He's like his education is really bad. Like, but every kid is different, so it's difficult because he just hasn't picked up school. He's been to school, until this year, but it's not for everyone. Like, if I said to him, "Come on, we'll read a book," he'd look at me and be like, "Don't be so stupid." And take the phone to go and take Snapchats. He's got no interest. But I think a lot of it is like, obviously he's grown up like with technology, so he just feels that that's normal.
To
sit on the phone, and it's just, I think it's ruined a lot of things. I think all this technology is good in ways, but I think it's like sort of destroyed childhoods really, because they don't play like they used to. They don't do things like they used to.
Do you like audiobooks? Do either of you listen to audiobooks?
That's what I'm thinking.
No. I don't think my son wouldn't interest him unless it was about like he likes watching Top Boy. These type of series so unless it was something like that, he wouldn't.
Tyson Fury's autobiography.
It wouldn't be no interest to him. Like, I tried explaining to him the other day, like, when I was his age, to go and like find my friends, it wouldn't be phone them and go meet them. And I said we'd have to go knock their door,
knock on their house door,
and if they weren't in their house, then you'd have to think, right, hang on. They could be the woods, they could be the lake, they could all these spots where you used to go. So you'd have to go to every single one of those spots. And if they weren't there, you weren't finding your friends. You were going home on your own until they come and call for you. And he was like, "Shut up, Mum. Don't be." I said, "I'm being deadly serious." I said, like, "At your age," I said, "you all want to be vaping and doing all this, madness." I said, and we were hanging from trees and playing mob and like rat-a-tat ginger. And I know it's not the best of things to be doing, but like, it's a lot better than what these kids are doing these days. I'll be honest. You have a child, like I had a childhood. Like, you look at, like, I look at my children's childhoods, and with technology, I don't think they've had proper childhoods like we did, like to play and like do the things that we did.
And read. I think it all comes back to reading.
You wouldn't have, if like when you go to bed, you'd read a book, or your mum would read you a book. Like, now, they don't have that. They on their phone.
I used to love going to the library. Like, when I was at school, it was the Bernardo's like reading challenge. You read so many books, you'd get like stickers and like a pencil or a ruler, and I loved that. I loved going to the library and picking out
encouraging you to read.
And I've not got children, so I don't know if things like that are still going on, or
they have like what's it called? Like it's like cats, and they're in the school and they all sell books. But that's like once a year. And like, but the books are extortionate. Like, if you went into like B&M or Home Bargains, you'd probably pick the same book up for £1. And they're charging you £10 for the book. So I tried explaining to my daughter, like, if you really want that book, we'll go and get it from somewhere else, and you can have 2 books. But no, I want it at the book fair. That's what it's called, the book fair.
Book fair. Yeah, I used to.
You want it from the book fair because everybody else is buying from the book fair. But my boys have no interest in reading at all.
No.
Sad. I know that when I was in school, we had like school book fairs for like total books you've read. It would be like money off towards a book or something like that.
Tokens. She does get them, and she'll say that she wants to use them, but you can only use them in certain places. And I think it's Waterstones.
Waterstones.
She but I don't even know where there is one. I don't think there's one in Cardiff anymore. I remember going to the bookshop in town with my nan when I was a kid, but that's gone now, so I don't know where it is now.
I know that they offer the same thing. When I used to go to Northampton College, they would do like word challenge, and you basically the same thing again. So you have it for children, but I feel like it should be something for every age anyway, just to get your feet in it and to see if you like it or not, because it might think you might give yourself that challenge in order to say, I've accomplished this. And once you go through that day, you're like, oh, actually, I do enjoy reading. And then it could be a pattern for you.
Yeah. It's the same with like, I remember doing like story writing challenges where it would be like, submit your however many word story and win the chance of it being put in this book or things like that. I used to love
They do that for Eisteddfod in Wales. Obviously, St. David's Day, we have Eisteddfod. And they do that. They have to write stories and poems and things like that. So that's like, for my, like, not my eldest boy, my middle boy, he's in year 6. That's probably the only time that he does anything of that sort of, you know, like to do a reading, writing. Otherwise, he's just PlayStation. And I say to him sometimes, like, why can't you come off there? Like he asked for all the Diary of a Wimpy
Kid.
It's like some like books. I'm sure it was that. And it's like this little cartoon. Is that the one?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had all of those. He read like 3 pages. No, I don't want to read anymore. It's too much. And then they had like the Roald Dahl trilogy. Like she's got it now. Like she's reading the Twits, I think it is. She's reading now, and she loves it. I said, like, that's from when I was a kid. I used to live that. She was like, "This book is not as old as you. You're a dinosaur." Thanks.
Yes,
prehistoric. Like, yeah, she doesn't understand that like books stay around forever. Like literally.
Yeah.
Like I said, the Bible is like millions of years old. No, it's not. It's in my school. They got it last week. I'm like, no, Tallulah is hundreds and hundreds of years old. Like, just because the one in your school came last week doesn't mean the book actually came last week. She doesn't understand, bless her.
Yeah, so for those watching at home, if you have taken part in like the 5 book challenge, I'm gonna say 5-day challenge. that would be so much better. The 5 book challenge over the summer or something. Let us know what you did and what books you read and why. Did you do it as like a Harry Potter, gonna go through 1 to 5 and see maybe that way, or was it random books that you're like, yeah, I might try that. It'll be interesting to see. And also, I was wondering, you said about the short story and poetry competition. Did you enter any of it?
Me, when I was a kid, yeah, we had to. It was like when you're in primary school, it's like every year you enter into like the poem, the storytelling, and then there was like, what else did we used to do? They used to do like recorder, recitals, all different things like for Eisteddfod, you guys. It's a bit like sports day, that type of thing, where like you do all different categories. You draw a picture of a dragon or a daffodil or something to do with Wales. Yeah, like that was always my thing, to be honest, was the drawing. I wasn't really the storyteller or the poem. I was the drawing. I'm good at art. My 2 boys, well, all of my children are good at art, I'll be honest, all 3 of them. But she does the stories, my daughter. She's amazing. She has won a few times in Eisteddfod. She comes home, I won. Oh, what did you win? She's like, this bit of paper. Great. She's like, I don't know why they gave me paper. They could have given me something better. I'm like, another point of why you won. I said, you took part. Like, that's the whole point. You used your imagination. And she'll draw little pictures on her stories and stuff.
Oh, that's good. I think they're great doing things like that, like little competitions. Because I remember them from when I was at school, like doing short story competitions. And it was like, you'll win a like Waterstones voucher, and it's like enter, like it could be like, tell us about yourself or make up.
They get that if they have 100% or 99% attendance, they go on like a fun day out. So basically, the school encourages you to send your kids every day to school. Because then they get like a day out as a treat then on the school. Last year, I think they went to Alton Towers or something like that. Nice. Yeah, they take like so many kids out for the day. So, but they like the winning story will be like published by the head teacher's office. It'll be like put up on the wall, or like whoever's won whatever competition will be by the the head teacher's office. So then obviously when visitors and things come in, they can see their stories and their artwork. And because she had to do a castle as well this year, and she wasn't happy because she didn't win. She was like, "But my castle was the best." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Sometimes you have to take a fall."
Oh, bless her.
I remember entering. Well, I didn't enter a short story writing competition, but my teacher did.
Yeah.
In college, so I never participated in primary school or secondary school because I wasn't. I was more interested in art, the creative side, and when my teacher submitted it, it was about the D-Day landing and writing it from the perspective of the soldiers about that day happening.
Yeah.
And turns out it won.
Yeah.
And won £15 of Waterstone vouchers, which was really fun. And my treat wasn't like novels or anything, but I bought manga books because Mum wouldn't let me get them because they're not books, but they're like my favourite types of books. So I went in there, got it, and it's still hidden. Well, Mum knows about it now, but when I had it, I hid them. Mum didn't know I had them. And then a second one I entered, I came second, joint second with someone who did a poem, which was really good. But mine was a short horror story about this little girl who finds a doll store, and the doll shop's like old style porcelain dolls, and the shop door opens, she goes in, closes behind her, she sees little things moving around, and lots of scary things happen to the extent of what a 14-year-old can think. And she ended up getting trapped in one of the dolls.
Oh gosh.
And then she looks out the window and you see another child looking at the window like, oh my God, I want to go in. The next
That's the end of the story.
But that was like, I like writing and creating it, but I just can't get into reading it. But I feel like I should learn to read more in order to maybe appreciate or change how I write stuff instead of it being the same thing again. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I do like the idea with audiobooks because I'm leaning more toward the idea of it now because I've been listening to a lot of podcasts, and most podcasts I've listened to will be like murder mystery, and then they'll just tell you a story about this and then go into detail and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm getting engrossed in the story as I'm listening to this mini series. So I'm thinking, actually, I might be able to do this with a novel, like a decent-sized book. Might be able to read Game of Thrones for once. Did you have anything you wanted to talk about at all, Beth?
Yeah, just to finish up storytelling, I think at the Yard it's really important for us. Storytelling is one of the things that we kind of value most. And when we do open the building back up again, we're going to have a storytelling club. So it's going to be a Thursday, I think, but I could be wrong. Every Thursday between 4 and 6:30, we're going to be making a podcast. We're going to be making a magazine. So we just really want to hear young people's stories, and then for them to be able to develop the skills like we were saying about confidence and maybe doing interviewing and things like that, and be able to do writing. And I think that'll be something that we're really looking forward to getting started on. So if you're passionate about storytelling and you want to come and have a look, send us a message and we'll be able to give you a bit more information.
That's fantastic. And you can do this as a way to volunteer as well, can't you?
Yeah, you can. We are looking for volunteers at the moment. So our next volunteer recruitment day is on the 6th of May, and that'll be 4 till 6:30 in the afternoon. So you can come and have a chat with us. Rachel will be there. I'll be there. And a couple of other members of staff will be there, just if you want to know a bit more about what we do.
Yeah, definitely. I do think it is good that we're actually doing like a an opportunity for people to just be able to share their side of any experience that they've received or experienced. And by giving them that voice and like megaphone or amplify it in a way to reach out to a bigger audience is fantastic, because sometimes you feel like your voice isn't valid, that no one listens, but we're telling you that you guys are just as important as everyone else and giving you that opportunity.
Yeah.
Sit back down, darling. Good girl. So she's moaning at me. But yeah, I thought got a couple of news stories. What was it that you guys like to start with?
I've got one that I think is a really nice one, and it's a little video. And Rachel, you might have heard of it, but I don't know if you watch Britain's Got Talent, Lindsay.
Yeah.
No, I haven't started watching it.
So there was a group on Britain's Got Talent, I can't remember when it was, it must have been last week, called Born to Perform. And they're actually a dance school from Northampton that have, I think it's all SEND students. So a lot of them have Down syndrome, autism, and they actually got David Walliams' Golden Buzzer.
Oh, that's amazing.
I just wanted to show you their performance because I think it's really great. And I think it's so inspirational for other young people and adults to see people like themselves doing such amazing things. So let me show you that. Get that bigger. If it wants to go, there we go.
Oh.
I just thought that was so lovely. So well done.
That is fantastic.
It's so nice. Go on, Rachel.
I do love the fact that you can tell that each and every one of them children had loved every moment on stage. Yeah. And I can imagine, like, behind the scenes, like, looking back on, like, school production, from my experience, very little. But, like, the excitement of getting the costumes, getting fitted, and, like, learning the dance move behind the scenes and with each other. I do think, like, that must have been a great experience as well to feel that. Yeah. That's amazing. And to have the audience cheer as well.
Yeah, they've done really well. It just shows how passionate they are as well about dance, and yeah, I just love that. That made me very happy when I saw that the other day, especially when it's things in your community like Northampton.
Yeah,
it's great. So well done to Born to Perform.
I do love the fact that you can express yourself through dancing, and just it's a great form of exercise as well. Yeah. And you don't realise it, but when you're dancing and you're having fun, and time flies so quickly when you're enjoying yourself.
Yeah,
it's amazing. It's just so sweet seeing the smile on their faces.
It's so lovely. It is really nice to see.
I've noticed, like, when this is like years back when I used to watch Dance Moms, like the American show. You're told as like a professional dancer to not really express with your face or like sing along to whatever you're dancing to, and I feel like that kind of takes away from enjoying it even more so, because you can see like as they were doing it on stage, like you could tell they were all having fun. They were all loving it and making the audience loving it also and join in and clap for them. And I feel like that should be more of a thing on performing.
Yeah, definitely.
I like that. I have something from Northampton also. So have you heard of an organisation called Shout Up?
I did see that this morning when I was looking at the Born to Perform article.
Yeah. I thought it was quite interesting because if you guys don't know, watching at home, a couple of months back, I think now, we had a few incidences of injections, spiking of drinks, and in clubs and bars and etc. in Northampton. And one bar reacted by saying, "Oh well, we can sell the covers for drinks. If anything, it should be free.
Yeah,
if it's happening notoriously at that place." But now,
here as well.
Yeah, it's happening all over the country. Like this morning, I saw a thing on BBC News saying like spiking victims are just being blamed for being too drunk, or saying that they're just.
My friend she was in one of the clubs in Cardiff, and she said literally she took her drink from the bar. She was talking to the barman. She took her drink. She walked 2 steps, and she said she looked in her drink and she could see all like white bits floating in her drink. So she took her drink back to the bar and said to the man, "What is this?" And he was like, "I don't know." He said, "I'm going to call my manager." The manager phoned the police straight away.
Yeah.
And she took like 2 steps from the bar from getting her drink onwards, and she'd been spiked. And if she hadn't noticed, she would have drunk that, and God knows what would have happened to her.
Yeah.
It's bad.
So basically, in Northampton, we've had this organisation in response to everything that's been happening, called Shout Up, and they are organisations. So the Northamptonshire Police Fire Crime Commissioner came together with West Northamptonshire Council, along with Northamptonshire Rape Crisis and Northampton BID at the Pictodrome on Thursday to say it only takes one community to say enough is enough to violence against women.
Yeah, I think they're offering training, aren't they, for bar staff to be able to like step up and be like, actually, no, stop what you're doing. That kind of thing. I think also there was something about there's money for more CCTV.
Yeah.
I think it was Abington Street, Racecourse, and other places like that.
Yeah. So here, we got a lady called Susie Keeping, who owned 2 centre venues, the Pictodrome and the Old White Hart in Far Cotton, and all staff. So whose staff has all completed the Shout Up training.
Yeah.
So at least we know like there's 2 definite that followed the training, and hopefully by getting that ball rolling, more companies will sign up and agencies will link up with them to be able to provide a safer environment for everyone involved.
Yeah.
And it might be things you wouldn't even think about spotting when it comes to, like, you could be a bartender for years and think you know what to look out for and stuff, but there might be things that you might not even realise that can happen under your nose. But I thought it was quite interesting, and it's a shame that like this is something that has to be done in order to make it safer. It's not going to be 100% safe, but I do like the idea that now people who are out having fun, like having a drink or 2 with friends, they can feel safe to know that they can turn to staff members and say, like, I feel dizzy, I feel this, and they'll put the proper measures in place to make sure
they know how to respond.
Yeah.
I think it's a great initiative. I think it will definitely, I think it will increase confidence for people who go to nightclubs and pubs to know that staff have got that training. And like you say, it's a shame that it's gotten to that point where they need to do that. But again, I think it is a good idea, and hopefully it will improve.
Yeah, and I'm glad that like charities have banded together as well. To the Red Crisis is a charity, and they're teaming up with that also. And the fact that police, fire, and crime commissioners are all involved, like they must have so many different stories they've experienced over the years to have that much of a umbrella of sources of what could happen is amazing. So we can actually cover as much as we can. But yeah, interesting for like local Northampton, because it was terrible for what we were getting with the reports coming back. What else?
The scary thing is it's not things that haven't been around before. Like sparking must have it's always been a thing, but they're just finding new ways as women start protecting themselves more, and we're becoming more innovative with like the lid cups and like there's little plastic things you can put in the top of bottles. They're then going one step above and finding new ways to do it, like through the injections. It's scary, and I think hopefully initiatives like this will maybe act as a preventative, but if not, be there afterwards for people. And I don't want to say just women, because it's not just women, because it is men as well.
Yeah, I do agree. Did you have something for us, Lindsay? We got.
Yeah, I shared some on the breakfast.
I found girl faces more pressure to be a perfect teenager. That one looks interesting. So, the share screen, if you let me, please. Hey. Got it. So, what can you tell me about this, Lindsay?
Basically, it's saying that girls are facing more pressure to be perfect than boys by, various different aspects of their lives and in school and peer pressure.
Yeah.
Emotional difficulties. Is saying that basically in this one school, 10 pupils who responded wasn't surprised the first results reveal some marked differences between the experiences of girls and boys. And girls were 3 times as likely at 22% to report serious emotional difficulties as boys at 7%.
Oh, wow.
I think that bit gets me, the saying that more girls are more likely to report it. Because to me that says that it's not happening to boys. It's just
they just don't want to say,
there's so much stigma surrounding like boys don't cry and like man up and things like that, that for young males it's like, no, I'm not going to show my emotions.
I know quite a few young males, like in Cardiff, my partner's friends, 2 of his friends, they committed suicide over depression and things because they didn't feel they had anybody to talk to. And they were only young boys, like 25, 26. My son's cousin saying he hung himself, he was only 40, because I don't think they feel that they can express and talk to people. But like it does say that they're on about social media and the usage of social media, and there's like there says online, she added, there is a pressure to construct a life that looks busy even if you don't have people you can talk to properly in real life. So they feel they have to portray this image to people because of social media and what they'll get, and obviously status, and it's bad.
Social media plays such a massive part, doesn't it? And I'm not saying that it's all negative, because some of it can be really positive. And
it does say on there as well, that on the article, that it can be a source of support, but also added to the pressures on girls around body image.
definitely.
Because obviously everything is photoshopped, you know, like you see these girls and you might see them in real life and really they're straight like this. And then in their images, their bodies is like a Coke bottle, you know, and like, and their faces are perfect, and really you probably see them and they're full of spots. And but these girls look at these images like they have to look up to these people, and they have to like they make their image to them.
Yeah, definitely.
This is interesting. It says here, overall, a third of teenagers reported being active for an hour a day, including just walking. But for girls, that fell into just 26%.
Because like I said, they're all so busy sat on phones, computers. They don't want to do anything. Like even when my children, like, as an example, go out. If I go looking for them, I'll find them in the park, and they're all sat on their phones. Like, well, why aren't you playing? Why aren't you playing football? Why aren't you doing something the kids do? They're all sat on their phones.
Yeah.
I just think it's had a massive impact on children and their development and the way they develop, because they're not growing up like we did.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And in this one here, Ahmed, as boys we express our emotions less. We're expected to be stoic. So, and he doesn't really use social media. But yeah, it does seem to show that with that statistic, like you said, Beth, like it's not that boys are not affected as much, it's because they don't feel like they probably can.
It's not reported. That's
They're not man enough. If they're talking to people crying, they're not a man.
Yeah. Exactly that.
It's really sad to see.
Literally. It's sad.
So if you're LGBT, you might be harassed. I think identity plays a really big part in society. That's a big thing as well. If you don't know what you identify with and you're trying to find it and you're on social media as well, that might actually deter you from wanting to be yourself.
Yeah.
I can imagine that can be happening too. Bless them. Do you think, like, with all this, there must be some level of like how it affects their body image as well?
Yeah, definitely. It's like, and I think as well as social media, but families and school and friends and like their community will all play such a big impact on the way that children and young people see themselves. I think it does for adults.
Yeah.
Let alone for young people who are quite easily influenced, and what they see, they take it as fact. Like you were saying, Lindsay, they see these people on Instagram who've photoshopped their pictures beyond belief, and they're like, oh, that must be what they look like in real life.
Yeah, it is as bad. It's like, I don't know if, like, obviously, like with yourselves, like obviously in your friend group, like my friends are all very similar. We're all like quite plain. We don't really wear a lot of makeup. We're not like that type of girls, if that makes sense. And then, like, obviously I've got other friends who are not in my friend group, but you know, I speak to them if I see them, whatever.
Yeah.
And they're all makeup up, they're all Botox up, they've had surgery, and they're out every weekend living this lavish lifestyle with all the makeup. And I look and I think I wouldn't want that life. But girls crave that life, if that makes sense. They're like all over Instagram, these girls, and posting, and like you have got the young ones like, oh, like, have you seen such and such? Have you seen, like, my friend sort of said to me, or have you seen, I'm not going to say a name, but have you seen such and such, what she's had done to herself? And I want to look like her, she looks amazing. And it's like, no, like, be you.
Yeah.
I feel like it must be a way for them to feel a chance to be popular as well.
That's what it all boils down to.
Being someone you're not in person, then that could be something where you get attention.
The more likes on social media, they feel like they're approved in their little communities and their society of school and that age that they're in.
Yeah.
And the less likes, it's like they're not as popular, and then obviously that'll make them feel depressed and low in their self, because they're thinking, well, why aren't people liking my pictures? Why are they liking? So social media plays a massive part on
Yeah.
their body image, their self-confidence, everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is quite scary because I know if my daughter came home and said to me, "Mum, I'm having this surgery," I'd say, "Well, you've got no chance. You've got to make it to the clinic to have your surgery."
When you were like younger in school, did you feel like you had that pressure of needing to be like looking a certain way in school? Or
when I was in school, obviously it was like, oh God, it's 20 years ago now. But it was like, it wasn't so, the image wasn't like it is now. Like when I was in school, it was like skinny girls were the in thing. And if you were a bit chunky, you were fat, you were ugly, you got picked on. And I used to get picked on in school for being bigger and like having curves and, things. And now these girls who used to pick on me are paying to look like me. And I just laugh because I think, well, back 20 years ago, you wanted to ridicule me for being bigger and make me feel like absolute crap about myself.
Yeah.
But now you want to pay to have big lips. You want to pay to have, big body parts and to be skinny in every areas. And you want to be under the sunbeds. And like, they used to pick on me for that way in school. Do you know? And I just think it's like it's always been there, but not as nowhere near as bad as what it is now because we didn't have that image to be maintaining by social media as well. It was just a school image, like, or when you go out. Like I used to hang around with boys because I didn't like girls. Because they were so horrible. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
If you weren't wearing the right thing or you weren't wearing makeup or like I've never been one to wear makeup. Like the girls in school, they used to go into school full face of makeup, big high heels. I used to look at them and think, what are you doing? I'd go into my trainers and the tracksuit and my uniform on the top, but like tracksuit bottoms, my trainers, and my hair would be like I am now. And that was me. Like I wouldn't even now. I probably sit quicker than my partner to get ready if we're going out. I literally have a shower. If I got to do my hair, then yeah, I'll take longer. But if I'm just going as I am, 10 minutes.
Did you ever have to struggle with it yourself, like Beth, with that pressure of feeling like you need to be perfect?
I don't think it was as much to be perfect, but I desperately wanted to fit in when I was at school. Like when I was at school, I didn't fit into one friendship group. I kind of moved around between them all and I wanted to be friends with everyone. That was my problem when I was at school. I wanted everyone to like me and I wanted people to be my friend. Like, so I would try and meet the expectations of people who turns out now I'm never going to speak to them ever again. So I think it's just, and I think for young people who are at school, they don't have that realization, do they? That what you are doing at school doesn't matter. It doesn't matter when you go out to work. They're not going to be like, who was your friendship group at school?
So and half those people you're in school with, you'll probably never ever see again. The only way, obviously, now they will is through social media, but like they're never going to have contact with them. Like, think, oh yeah, I'm going to go out with this person. This half of it's never going to happen.
Yeah, definitely.
But I do think they got much more pressure on them now because obviously when we were growing up, you sort of, when you left school, like I see people now and they're like, oh, I'm this or I'm that. And I'm thinking, well, in school, like you didn't do anything, but you've done really well for yourself, fair play. And then obviously these kids have got all this in their face because if somebody does really well, they're going to be all over social media posting it. And then the kids are like, well, I wanted to be like that. I wanted to do that. And like feel failed in themselves because somebody else has done it. Just like it's not a nice thing, I don't think.
No, it's
good in certain ways to like keep contact with people all over the world or like things like that for communication, but as in a platform itself, I think it's bad for you.
Yeah, I agree.
There's too much pressure and peer pressure and too much on there for them to take in and to be able to understand and to try and fit in. It was hard enough fitting in school when you just had like the sort of the categories of school life without like the social media life on top of all of that. Do you know what I mean? Like it's
yeah, definitely.
way too much pressure compared to the pressures we had. Like whether you were big or whether you were skinny, or you wore makeup or you didn't. That was probably about it, really, when I was young. Whereas now, it's not just that. It's, you know, every little thing. Everything. It's down to the clothes, down to the technology you got, down to the way you look, the colour of your skin, the shape of your body, the colour of your hair, the style of your hair. It's everything. If you're wearing designer clothes.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that.
No.
I don't know, like with me growing up, I think it was the same with you, Beth, like wanting to fit in, but not being the perfect teenager, because I had this element on top of it with having this obvious disability where I had like a metal walking frame that I go with everywhere. So it was like I'm trying to be a normal kid, plus like I like this as well. Look, see, and I didn't really feel like I found it hard to make friends, but I didn't feel like I really belonged anywhere.
Yeah.
Which feeling, because like everyone, I never really got picked on or anything like that. So everyone was nice to me and friendly, but I didn't feel like I had a close knit of group of a friend.
Yeah.
Turn to if I wanted to, I don't know, gossip or talk about a boy I like or whatever.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to see that so many young people are struggling, but then I think that's where we need to offer them support.
Yeah. And what's really great about the Yard is we also offer opportunity to meet new people, to learn, like get to make friends with people that come to the Yard as well.
Yeah.
Things that, like, if we run a gaming session and you're like, oh, I like gaming.
Yeah.
You're going to find someone else that likes
10
gaming.
other people that do too. Yeah.
Everyone here. So be able to like and not feel so because it can be such an isolating feeling to feel like you have to be someone you're not. But at the Yard, we don't care. We just want you to be happy. We just want you to be you and just enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
That's it. So how long was this? Oh, been an hour.
We're going a long day today. We're just chatting away.
Yeah.
So much important stuff to talk about.
Did you have something else about the body image?
I did, but I think we could talk about that for longer. So I might save that for another day.
That's a good idea, actually. I also have about price inflation. I thought would be quite interesting.
Or we could save that for another day because I feel like we could talk about that for ages as well.
That is true. We could do that with the same amount of time again.
I think we could. It's a long topic. It's an interesting one.
Yes. So thank you so much for everyone at home for watching, and we'd like to let you know that for the next 2 days, Breakfast Buddies is online starting from 10:30.
Yeah.
And we also have Friday Jasmine Story, which is Giver of Stars.
Yeah.
And then the following Monday, you, Beth, is The Last Wish. Both starting at 4 o'clock or 4:30.
4:30. I'm nearly done with my book, actually. I've got, how much have I got left? I've got that much left.
Oh, wow.
I know.
Oh, so like probably a couple more recordings.
Yeah. Put in your, if you're watching, put in your recommendations for the next book you want to read.
Definitely. We'd like to get some recommendations of stories you'd like for us to read. Something that we haven't read before, or something you'd like us to read again as well. And we also have Steve, who's online gaming every night. And if you'd like to say hello, we're always on social media. So even though the Yard is shut at the moment, we are always open online. So thank you so much. Thank you, girls, for joining me today.
Thank you.
And thank you guys for watching at home, and I hope you have a good afternoon and evening, and we'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.